morning, everybody. Back from my hiatus, politicking on the latest. I'm Nathan Ivey, a Virgo with superlative flow, and welcome back to the last honest place in America, where nothing is funnier than the truth. Men are allowed to be men, and of course, sucker MCs get dealt with. If you would like to test the limits of a dangerous force this morning, 513, that's the area code, 873-7134, and feel free to lock me in. I won't robocall you. Have you been receiving an unusually high amount of robocalls within the last year? Ever wondered why? I'll tell you why. Oh, you'll find out why in just a couple of minutes. And what can you do about it? We will discuss, among other things. What do you think about Alicia Reece, black female Democrat, versus Connie Pillich, white female Democrat, running for Hamilton County Commissioner? Yeah, big press conference later on today at about 2:15 downtown. Connie Pillich, it's been reported, is going to announce that she's running for Hamilton County Commissioner. What does that mean for the county? How do you feel about that? What's your just initial thought? Interesting. Like I say, 2020 is going to be a very interesting year for political scientists, for people that watch politics, for people who are involved in politics. 2020 is going to be, it's tremendous. It has the potential to be groundbreaking, especially here locally in the Cincinnati area from whence I am broadcasting. And then listen, if you picked us up on TuneIn, hey, come on in. Good morning. Good morning. Maybe you're doing a search for live shows and you come across the Nathan Ivey Show. It is your lucky day, my friend. Yeah, stay woke out here. Speaking of stay woke, and we are ahead of the game. If you listen to this show on a daily basis, you will be ahead of the game in a lot of ways. And when I say game, what I mean is in terms of the political thoughts, the theories, the flows, the prognostication, just someone who does this. And it's not just me. I am always joined by the choppers, the people that support the show. You get up every morning and you respond to that instant notification and check out the flows. And we've been rocking one another for a while. There was no live show yesterday. I was under the weather, and I'm still recovering, but I do feel better. And I hate not doing a show. I love doing a show every single day. I love it. Love it. It is my pleasure. It's my personal catharsis. It's my catharsis. Speaking of catharsis, you can kind of think of the show that way. This is not your usual talk show. The show's a little bit different. Number one, I'm a little bit different. You know, I'm into numerous things, but I like to think we keep our eye collectively on the ball here in terms of what's happening locally, regionally, and nationally. My focus is what happens in the greater Cincinnati area, you know, where I live. But this show, we talk about everything, including national trending stories. If it's hot, we'll talk about it. Viral videos, we'll discuss it. If that sounds like something you might want to get into, check out the show. Go ahead and subscribe right now and share this with somebody who enjoys these kind of shows. The Nathan Ivey Show, of course, is part of CIN Digital Media, Cincinnati Digital Media, which produces podcasts for the people based here in the Cincinnati area. You can go to our Facebook page right now, CIN, short for Cincinnati, Digital Media, and you can check out various podcasts. You can check out the Truth to Power podcast with the Cincinnati NAACP. You can check out the Hot Mic podcast between myself and PG Sinfield, who's a member of City Council. You can check out the Is It Just Me podcast with Donnie B, who is hands down the best new talk voice. I'm not sure, is that worldwide or is it just an area of Cincinnati? I don't know. I put my vote in there. And our focus is the urban center. Our focus is what's happening with black and brown folks and those that interact with us. And so many of the people that are doing podcasts, including the Cutting Through the BS podcast, hosted by Clue Magic and also Fast Pitch. And you can check out a small little clip of that podcast up on our Facebook page right now. Please like it and share it. The Dope Chick Collective podcast, and all these podcasts have a different kind of vibe. But one thing is consistent: the promotion of Black voices. That's one thing that's consistent. Cincinnati Digital Media believes in the power of black voices. We believe in the power of female voices, and it's reflected in the voices that you hear. It's reflected. It's done with intentionality. So check that out if you're new to the show. Good morning to you, Choppers. Well, today is Tuesday, November 19th, 2019. And before we get too deep in the show, I want to take a little pause here and get an update from the Bloomberg Urban Report. Check this out, and we'll chop it up on the other side.
With the Bloomberg Urban Report, I'm Donna Wilson. More and more companies are looking to see how we can capitalize on Africa's economy. Africa's GDP is expected to rise $4 to $7 trillion by the year 2030. And according to Deloitte, the consumer opportunity in Africa rests on 5 key pillars: the rise of the middle class, exponential population growth, the dominance of youth, rapid urbanization, and the fast adoption of digital technology. Well, there's a call for non-compete bans. A coalition of U.S. states has called for a ban on non-compete agreements and employment contracts, arguing that it keeps workers from the better pay and benefits offered by competitors. The agreements are common among employers who rely on them to protect company information, but they've been scrutinized as overly broad. It is estimated 60 million Americans work under such an agreement. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
Non-disclosure agreements. Are you currently working under a non-disclosure agreement? Quite interesting. If you work in the Trump White House, you certainly do. Good morning to you. Welcome back. Currently 8:17 a.m. in the Queen City. My name is Nathan I to the V to the straight bar E, and welcome back to the show. Hey, we even got a number if you want to call in. Yeah, how's that for digital radio? You can actually call into this show. We sold technology. 513-873-7134 if you'd like to share your thoughts. Oh, man, so over the weekend, I was not up to it, but I got an invitation to go down and witness what I hope will be history. Hope this will be history on Saturday, and kind of walked into a very special moment down at the Freedom Center on Saturday. I regard it as a very special moment. Yeah, you may or may not be aware of it. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't see it. But I had posted some images of something that took place on Saturday. Yeah, Miss Opal. This woman is 91 years old, and she is symbolically walking from her home in Texas all the way to D.C. to raise awareness about the issue of making Juneteenth a national holiday. So she's walking 2.5 miles per day to symbolize that there were some slaves who were kept in slavery for 2.5 years before they were told, you ain't a slave no more. That's so United States, isn't it? That's so United States. Yeah, I even got an interview with her. Yeah, there's a video up on my Facebook page right now, my personal page, for all my personal digital friends here. November 16th at 9:11 a.m. You can check it out for yourself. It was great meeting her. She's 93 years old. And she walked, man, it was so cold. The wind was whipping through me. But you know what? I was a warrior in the moment. And it just made the situation 10 times worse, quite honestly. I got home and collapsed. It was a wrap. Why did you do that? But I did it for the community. I did it for you. I didn't feel up to it. And, I ran into numerous people who I recognize. Shout out to Sister Iris for making me aware of this. And then greeting and hosting. And I don't know, it appeared to be she was kind of managing the schedule for Miss Opal Lee. Black female, again, 93 years old. She was here in Cincinnati. I'm not sure how much coverage it got or whatever. I didn't pay attention to anything. But I think that's significant. Hold on one second, Choppers. Give me 1 second. All right, that's a little bit better there. If somebody was having any issues, I might have solved it. So, yeah, Miss Opal Lee was here, and I did get a chance to interview her, and she talked about why she was doing it and just the strength that she gets and what she wants people to get from it. I thought it was quite remarkable. And again, I mean, why isn't Juneteenth a holiday already? Damn it. Damn it. So she needs 100,000 signatures to make that happen, choppers. And you can go online, opalswalktodc.com. Opal, O-P-A-L-S, walk to DC, to the number 2, DC.com. And she needs 100,000 signatures to try to pass this to the next level. And how could you ever be against making Juneteenth a national holiday? With all these other goofy-ass national holidays, pseudo-holidays that we have been forced to recognize over the years. Let's talk about Kunta Kinte, a.k.a. Colin Kaepernick, everybody, who had his big workout. He had his big workout. Hey, Cap's getting a chance. Now, you know, I remain cynical about this whole Colin Kaepernick thing. I still don't see what the big deal is. If he gets a job, he don't get a job, it means nothing. I remain unconvinced by any of the arguments I've heard so far. I remain utterly unconvinced. And it didn't go well. After the workout, Stephen A. Smith came out and basically said that Colin Kaepernick doesn't really want to be in the NFL. He reminded me of Fame. That's what Fame's been saying, which is ironic because he can't stand Stephen A. Smith, but they seem to agree on this. I don't know what really happened. Apparently, they were supposed to set it up at an NFL stadium. At the last moment, Colin Kaepernick changed it. They fell out about some issues. Related to the disclosure agreement. Nike wanted to do some type of a photo shoot and a video, so that Nike's involved with this somehow. He ends up doing it at a high school somewhere. Then he issues a statement, comes out, makes a statement, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Maybe you do, but I want to put it out there and discuss it this morning. Locally, I'd like to know what you think about Alicia Reece versus Connie Pillich. What do you know about Alicia Reece? What do you know about Connie Pillich? Okay? What do you want from the next Hamilton County Commissioner? Connie Pillich, hey, hold on one second, John. I'll put you on, man. I'm still setting up the show, brother. I got you. You got me, John? Hold on. John.
Yes.
I'm still setting up the show. Can I put you on hold and I can bring you on?
That's fine.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. That's John right there. I'm taking him off speaker. So from what I'm reading, Connie Pillich has a $500,000. How much does Alicia Reece have? Quote, we need to stop handing out corporate welfare checks. Shit, I agree with that. You're right. What kind of corporate welfare checks is Connie Pillich talking about? Well, she's talking about the stadium tax. Yeah. This is a good damn time to talk about that because the team is 0-10. I wasn't here with you yesterday. Even though we're based in Cincinnati, this is a no wine zone when it comes to the Bengals. I don't want to fucking hear it. You get what you get and you don't have a fit. They're 0-10 now. Ha 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 ha. If Marvin was here, you wouldn't be over in 10. I told people Marvin should stay. Oh, Marvin's got to go. He's got to go right now. Now you're 0-10. We out here making records, though, man. I love it. We are setting records. We setting records out here. This is the worst season. We're tied for the worst start in Bengal history. Way to go, Bengals. Way to go. You know what I say, man? 0-17. If you're going to do it all the way. Do it right. Don't half-ass this, Bengals. You got an opportunity here to be the worst team in professional professional football, and they should seize the day and make it happen. Carpe diem. Okay, make that happen, Bengals. So Connie Pillich, it looks like this sets up a high-profile primary between Connie Pillich and Alicia Reece. both vying for Todd Portun's seat on the Board of Commissioners. Now, we know that Alicia Reece was a longtime state rep fighting 33rd. That seat is now held by Cedric Denson. Shout out to Cedric Denson this morning. What do we know about Connie Pillich? I know she ran for governor, didn't she? She ran against Shabbat. I had to do some research on her to see exactly what position she has held. Damn, how did Connie Pillich get that much money? Is that just kind of laying over? And the answer is yes. She had about $500,000 left after her gubernatorial run. Man. So you had two Democrats, huh? And because of the changing demographics, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this something right now. Because of the changing demographics in Hamilton County, you can expect for there to be more and more prominence on perhaps some of these Democrat primaries. Yeah. I mean, we're seeing this. We're seeing Gabe and Fanon Rucker, who, by the way, guess who was down walking with Miss Opal? Fanon Rucker. Yeah, got a chance to catch up with him. You know, back to that, I know I'm switching back and forth here, but I talked about the fact that Miss Opal Lee, 93 years old, black female, was raising awareness. She wants to make Juneteenth a national holiday. Do you agree with that? Disagree with it? You can go to her website, opalwalks2dc.com. She needs 100,000 signatures to qualify to take it to the next step. I'm not telling you I know all the legalese and the jargon and the process that well. But I do know that I'm down with it. Why not? And I love the fact that she's political. She's raising awareness. You know, this is, I think, quite interesting. I mean, you have to make your own decision as to whether you think it's important or not. But I did run into Fanon Rucker, which is a part of my point in saying that these Hamilton County primaries, look for it. Connie Pillich versus Alicia Reece. And you know what? I've never heard anything, and I can't remember any negative about Todd Portun. I do know within the last 24 hours here locally, there was a tribute for Todd Portun, who's suffering from cancer, which is a terrible disease. Takes a lot of our loved ones away, and you know, it can be a very emotionally draining process to see somebody fighting it and going through it. You know, we know about a lot of people in our families and friends in our circles personally, and then people locally we know who have been fighting it publicly. I mean, right now I could think of Sherry Hughes. Right now I could think of Kelly Prather and the Todd Portun as well. So, you know, he says he's going to fight it, and I'm sure he will. And but that is his seat that they will be running for, as I understand it. But what do you think? The mayor, John Cranley, has already gotten behind Alicia Reece. As I said, this weekend, I was down with Miss Opal Lee, and I ran into a lot of people, including Alicia Reece, who was there as well. It was a quite magical moment. There's some brothers that do the Dad Initiative, and I don't know if this was something that was synced up on purpose or whatever, but as we're walking to the Freedom Center, Brother Carl Westmoreland Sr., who a lot of people know, I respect him. And he was talking to the brothers. A lot of good brothers came together here. These are black men. They care about their community. They created something called the DAS Initiative. They just happen to be down there. And Miss Opal Lee comes up, and I don't know if she knows Mr. Carl Westmoreland. I'm not sure if this was all set up, but it was quite a moment. The two of these elders in our community both talking with the youth right there, and what appeared to be a spontaneous moment. Maybe you saw some of the video, maybe you did not. But it was quite magical. Hopefully it'll leave an impression in the minds of these young boys, these young soon-to-be men, right? To be conscious, to be aware of their history, to be aware that you can play a role in it. You don't have to just be a passenger. You can play a role in it. I thought I was quite lucky to be there. But as I said, Alicia Reece was there as well. As we're talking with her, talking about her in a potential, we'll find out in about, 4 hours. But it's being reported that in this way, with this degree of certainty, it's going to happen. Yeah, and because Connie Pillich is going to have $500,000 left over from her gubernatorial race, I mean, I'd have to say that's probably going to give her a big advantage over Alicia Reece. So boom, straight off the top. Straight off the top. That is an incredible amount of money. It's a nice amount of money, should I say, to get you started. Let me see. All of the commissioners right now, all of the Hamilton County commissioners are Democrats. And last month, they unanimously voted to raise the sales tax by 0.25%. And they want to use that money to plug the budget deficit and hire more county employees and then to jumpstart some jobs projects. How does she feel about it? Has Alicia Reece made a statement about that tax? It was reported earlier, and by earlier I mean last week, previous to today, that, she didn't really want to talk about it at that particular time when she was asked by local media. So these are just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the issues, and we will be talking about this as things move on. But what's your initial sort of thought about that? See, Connie Pillich was a former Air Force veteran. People are, that can go a long way. They flash that image of you with the uniform on, looking official, looking American, looking patriotic, giving you a service. That goes a long way. So this will be quite interesting, Choppers. Good morning to you. We will find out together. Good morning to you. How was the weekend? No bellyaching about the Bengals. Whatever happens, happens, right? Whatever happens, happens. It is what it is. But it is quite interesting. Let me just greet some of the Choppers. Tracy writes hi. Ray writes grand risings all. Mason Mahler writes more than Nate in the Choppers. Hashtag Ukraine in the membrane. Hashtag firsthand knowledge. Hashtag no more excuses. Hashtag first day of school feeling. Oh, you got that feeling, huh? First day of school, huh? Oh, man. That's just the tip of the iceberg. We got I want to focus on that for the first hour. I mean, we'll talk about the viral video of the Arizona's deputy who's now under investigation because he roughed up a teen amputee. A teen amputee. This young man is he's a quad amputee. Do you know what that means? That means he has no legs and no arms. Yeah. Oh, man, it gets ill out here. Anybody can get it. The black man can get it. The black woman, Alexandra Bland, can get it. The white man can get it. The white woman can get it. You can get it if you in a wheelchair. You can get it if you homeless. You can get it if you live in a mansion. You can get it if you got legs. You can get it if you don't have legs. Law enforcement shares that in common with the Cincinnati-born can man, Adrian Broner. Anybody can get it. We'll talk about it. Snoop Dogg has declared himself the sexiest man alive. So just a little bit of stuff we'll talk about. Plus, are we seeing the end of power? And what's up with that Black News Network? I thought they were supposed to start already. I'll give you all the details. Keep listening. Did you hear Byron Allen was on with Roland Martin? And I feel what Byron Allen is trying to do, but I'm wondering if there's another side of the story. And I was talking with Donnie B about it, and she agrees that there's another part of this story that's not really getting out there to the community. And in our last conversation, I believe she's going to focus her show on that. What's the potential impact if Byron Allen wins or loses? She is a lawyer by trade. It's what she do. That's her wheelhouse. But the question remains, what happens if Byron Allen loses? What's the impact here? Because of the various arguments that are being made by Comcast and Charter, Comcast keeps coming up. Even 50 Cent is mad at Comcast. Even 50 Cent is mad at Comcast. It has everything to do with stars and power. No more stars, no more power, potentially. These are some of the rumors out there. We don't know if it's true or not. So that's more than enough to discuss this morning. More than enough. And we got John on the line. Hey, good morning, John. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivey and the good people of Cincinnati. You might want to kill that seed back there. It's bouncing back and back. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great.
Great, great. Before we get to Bloomberg and his folly and that Bloomberg report, one of the stories you broadcast, we'll get into Bloomberg in a second. You were just talking about Byron Allen. This is going to play out if his victory in court will be successful. I don't think it really matters. If he wins, he wins. Let's see how it plays out. If he's going to do what Oprah Winfrey does with Tyrone Perry and other people by putting people to work, or is he going to be a selfish bastard saying, "I got mine, you get your own"? I've been hearing some stuff, and I don't want to throw a wound on it until he finishes his case. But some people say he's a very arrogant person. But I don't want to throw salt on it. Let's see how it plays out, win or lose. If he loses, it's not going to matter. The victory will be in the hands of the power elite, those inner circle CEO Comcast cable networks that don't want to see a black man win nothing anyway. But he had made his statement. If he does win the case, he will make a statement, win or lose. He'll put pressure on the power elites to, hey, you need to put some power in the hands of black men and women that want to have a piece of the network. So let's see how this plays out.
Well, did you see any of that Roland Martin interview he did with Byron Allen last week? Oh man, it's worth it. He got about good 40 minutes with him, and he asked him, all the questions. He said, everything from black legal minds who are wondering what the overall impact of this case might be, win or lose. And then secondly, challenging why all of a sudden, he's on the pro black tip.
Well, in the 90s, I remember his programs came on almost like in the middle of the night.
Can you talk up a bit, John? I'm not sure people can hear you, man.
Hey, can you hear me now? How's that?
Yeah, it sounds a little bit better.
Okay. I remember Byron Allen in the 90s, early 90s. He had his programming here in the New York area came on in the middle of the night. Nobody's up watching that time of the night. So the system was snubbing him. I mean, he's been in the trenches for a long time and still able to amass an empire.
You don't think that people watch those shows, man? I mean, I think he had a couple shows that, from what I understand, must have been successful. Because he was doing, he was like, look, take my content and we just share the ad revenue.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying his shows wasn't successful just here in the New York. I don't know about the Midwest in your area, the South, when his programs came on, but his program in the New York, New Jersey area came on in the middle of the night and nobody was watching. It's all about ratings. You know that. It's all about ratings. So why would you put the guy on after 12? And he's enabled over the years, 10, 15 years, to build an empire. And he has a right to say, I'm not taking this. You guys have been snubbing me, holding me back, not allowing me to build an empire. What I see as what he has done over the years is what Bill Cosby was doing. Okay, choppers, let me educate you. Many of you don't remember that Bill Cosby, before all those allegations came out, Bill Cosby got together with a group of elite blacks, and and from what I'm reading, Bill Cosby's empire before all those allegations came out, he's worth over $1 billion. But he was going to use his money. NBC Network put the station in the early, mid to early 90s, put the station up for sale, and Bill Cosby saw it. So he got together with his group of people, bidded on it. The next day, NBC took it off. Well, they took it off because they didn't want Bill Cosby to own it. And after they took it off, he stepped away. He didn't yell and scream. He stepped away. Within less than a year, all those allegations came out. So it shows you how the elites are dirty and how they want to. If they want you to have something, they'll let you have it. If they don't want you to have it,
yeah, but I'm not content with that kind of thinking. I'm not content with that. There's a new order. The new order is, if they won't make room for you at the table, set your own table. Okay, that's the Tyra Perry map. That's the model. So it don't matter what they want. It's all about what we, whatever that means, are trying to achieve.
Well, I agree with that assessment. But over the last, I would say, 20, maybe 30 years, right after the riots, many of Choppers wasn't around. After the 60s riots, I saw the change of this country flowing. a lot of black men that were not a part of the riot, but a good friend of mine said he was on the streets of New York, and this van pulled up from CBS Network. And this guy, white boy, got out of the car. Hey, you guys want a job? You want a job? Because they were afraid New York was going to burn down too. And my friend and a number of his friends got in that van, and they got jobs at CBS Broadcast Network. So, but then after that, the trend started changing. I noticed the elites across the country was pushing the black women and pull back on the black men. And that's what you see with the drugs, imprisoning of black men, the killing of black men. It's pushing African-American women and holding back the brothers. And that develops when you see the destruction of the black family. So it's a lot more. We can get into that, but we won't really get into it too much. So you got to see the writing on the wall. Oprah Winfrey pushing her. She's not a threat, but she's smart enough to realize, hey, I can't take this empire with me to my grave. Let me share it. And she shared Tyrone Perry, some other people that she pulled into the loop.
Tyler Perry.
Which was a good thing.
You keep saying Tyrone, you mean Tyler Perry, right?
Which is a good thing. And that is the problem with us as black people. We build these empires and we forget where we came from, and we don't want to share, some of us. And that's the problem with us in this country. That leads me to that leads me into the Bloomberg report.
Okay.
Now, early on, you talked about that Bloomberg report, talking about the exploitation of the African nation. Well, that's been going on for over 300 years.
Well, that's not what they said, but I can understand why you're looking at it with that kind of filter. Another other way of looking at it could be, potential entrepreneurs, potential investments. I think that's another way of looking at it.
Well, I don't have the woman, I'm at the gym right now. I don't have this African woman, the ambassador for this African nation. A week ago, she was released she was an ambassador to the U.S. for this African nation. And you go to YouTube, she ripped the U.S. and she ripped France and all the countries that had been exploiting Africa. She talked about what they were doing. Malcolm X did the same thing, and several other black leaders, Farrakhan, talked about it. But this woman, if you go on UN and pull up that report, and you see YouTube, how she rips the U.S. and all these countries apart, talking about the exploitation. So, this is nothing new. We've been experiencing this, but I'm happy to see this sister not afraid to speak out. And when she ripped these countries apart, now it's vital all over the internet, and they're trying to, that country where she's from, it's all over the internet. The internet has forced that country, the leaders of that country, to put her back in, because what they did is try to silence her, talking about things that we already know, how Africa has been exploited all over the continent for centuries and will continue until these black people rise up and say, no, we're not going to take it. So your Bloomberg report kind of leads me into what was going on in that direction.
All right. I got it.
And to end with my talks for the day, you talked about Cap and how he should he have taken the tryout? Should he not? I don't know what's on this brother's mind. He was scheduled to be at one place. He decided to go someplace else. That's his choice. Maybe he didn't like what was coming down the pipeline. Maybe he didn't like the setup. But, hey, the brother sacrificed millions and millions of dollars, put his life on the line, had to deal with the abuse, the ripping across on the internet, TV, people calling him names because he did what those two brothers did in the Olympics in the 60s by putting the black glove on and winning the gold and silver medal, raising their fists up in the air. Cap did the same thing, and I applaud him for that. He took something to a level that nobody couldn't imagine. He won the lawsuit, got millions of dollars, and the possibility if he gets back into the NFL or not, I get the impression he doesn't care. If he's still sinning.
Well, he got other ways of making money. He's got other ways of making money. But John, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Yeah, most deaf. The hell? That black man right there. Can never say I'm not nice to John. You can't never say that. Tony writes, good morning, peoples. Hacksaw Jim Thuggin writes, good morning. Colin is on the charade. I've been trying to tell y'all. But hey, y'all gonna learn one day. Hashtag alt middle. You know who that is. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate in the choppers. 42 feels great. Thankful. Hashtag grateful. Yeah, 42 is great. I mean, every year is great. 42 is the new 32, right? It's not the new 22. You can't go back that far. You only get one decade. Yeah, I remember 42. It seems the same. I don't know. It all just kind of blends together at this point to me. Jerica writes, hola, beautiful people, and the others too. Sharp writes, great others too? They're all beautiful people. Sharp writes, great rising shoppers. Brenda writes, happy Tuesday. Hackshaw Jim Thuggin writes, all the gay liberals gonna vote for Pillich, and it will be the straw that broke the camel's back for blacks to realize that Democrats don't like you. Well, that primary is going to be quite interesting. It's right around the corner. You're talking about 4 months away. And we shall see. We shall see. Is it safe to say that whoever wins the primary is probably going to pretty much win that seat? We shall see. Tracy writes, Hackshaw Jim Thuggin, I will be the first to say you were right on Colin. Well, I'll be the first to say that he agrees with Stephen A. Smith on Colin. Stephen A. Smith he went super hard at Colin Kaepernick. He basically said, again, some shit that we heard Fame say. He doesn't really want to play. But as I told Fame when he was making that point, who cares if he goes back to the NFL? It doesn't really matter. And I'm reading that Jay-Z is upset with Colin Kaepernick because Jay-Z helped to set up this opportunity because, he's the new musical director for the Super Bowl halftime show. He's in charge of the talent. He's in charge of the music. He's in charge of the lights. He's in charge of all of the uniforms that would be used. And Stephen A. Smith went super hard. Said he doesn't want to play, that he wants to be a martyr, and then I also read, the NFL put out a statement, and they did this to try to expose Colin Kaepernick. They put out a statement, and then the statement, they mentioned the fact that Nike was trying to set up some type of like a video moment where Colin Kaepernick was going to yell out the names of all the teams that had went to his workout. And I guess that was going to be a contrast between the teams that are open about changing the way things is business, whatever the fuck, and then the teams that don't do that. But it didn't really go through that way. Look at you. Yeah, I talked to the wifey real quick. Sorry about that. I am a married man. It comes with the territory. Let me see if I can pull some sound up, because it was everywhere, man, if you care about this kind of stuff. I think this stuff is why do I waste my time why do I spend time? I won't say waste. Why do I spend time talking about the NFL? Why is the NFL important? Well, it is and it isn't. To me personally, none of these sports leagues are really that important. This is all just mindless entertainment. Where I believe it gets political is because the NFL and these owners in these different teams in different cities have been able to successfully get public tax dollars to either build and maintain or to maintain these sports cathedrals. And I question what we get out of it. I question what the value of that really is. It must be something because, people are supporting it. So I think that it crosses over. There's also the cultural conversation because in America, if you have a platform that's that big, then you have an impact in the culture. And when I say culture, I'm not just talking about the social culture, but also professional culture. You know, with that huge platform that the NFL has, they're all owners. They got staffs. They set the trends in a lot of ways and they have the potential to set trends that could be, you know, just employee-employer relationship trends and issues. I mean, there's a lot of standards. When you have a platform that big, you have the opportunity to create standards. And so on that level, I think it's a justifiable conversation. Right? The way the NFL has weaved itself into like Americana, right, using the military, I think is open for conversation as well. I do. I think it's all fair. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. Now, if you live in Hamilton County in particular, I want to get your thoughts about Connie Pillich versus Alicia Reece. I want to get your thoughts on that. I'd like to get your thoughts. Are you aware of either of these two individuals? And if so, what is your impression? I'd love to get your impression of those individuals. We got Drop on the line. Drop, hold on 1 second. I'll bring you on, brother. We got Drop on the line. I want to make sure that you get a chance to hear from Colin Kaepernick, because hearing from me is one thing. He actually talked to the media for like 30 seconds. Everybody made a big deal out of it. But here's Stephen A. Smith.
Colin Kaepernick has been working out all of this time. Him, people in his camp, his close ones, loved ones, everybody talking about he wants to play football. He wants to play football. He's ready to play. Just give him the chance. So what does the NFL do? Recognizing that teams need a shield because they need something to hide behind, because they know that, guess what? If we bring this brother in for a workout and we don't like him or we don't want him, who knows what we're going to get accused of? We need cover. So the NFL provides that. I have no doubt Jay-Z's involved. I have no doubt Roger Goodell is involved. I have no doubt there's a host of people involved, but forget all of that. This man wanted a chance. 25 teams show up in Georgia at the Atlanta Falcons practice facility, state-of-the-art facility, NFL personnel, equipment, everything, video, everything. And what does Colin Kaepernick do? Not Tuesday when he found out about it, not Wednesday, not Thursday, not Friday, Saturday. 3 hours before the workout. Because of some issue with a liability waiver. Colin Kaepernick wants to change the venue. Colin Kaepernick wants his own receivers. Colin Kaepernick wants to video things himself. Colin Kaepernick wants the media. This Colin Kaepernick, media can't find him. He ain't done no interviews. He ain't talked to nobody. Media can't find him, but he wants to do it. He wants the media available now. You see, he don't want to play. He wants to be a martyr. But guess what? It ain't working this time. All of us believe that Colin Kaepernick would have showed out. And if he had showed out, I'm here to tell you, I believe he would have had a job inside of 2 weeks. But it didn't happen because he didn't show. He wanted to show up to a high school in Georgia. Not an NFL facility, a high school. And then YouTube it live. Like the average Joe out there gets to decide if he's on the NFL roster. You don't want to work. You just want to make noise. And you want to control the narrative. It's over. Colin Kaepernick's aspiration in the NFL. For an NFL career. It's over. Talk to y'all Monday on First Take.
He is silly, man. That's Stephen A. Smith. He says it's over for Colin Kaepernick. What do you think? 513-873-7134. It's over. Let's go to a Drop. What up, Drop?
What's up, Mr. Ivy?
I'm doing great.
It is an honor for me to follow one of the greatest voices in sports the last 30 years, Mr. Stephen A. Smith, straight out of the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Mr. Ivy, Fame Rothstein, myself, Broadway Flo, and maybe a couple of other people I'm not mentioning, but we all saw this a long time ago when it originally happened, Nate. Now, again, it's, for me, it wasn't that easy to see how this whole thing went down because I followed the timeline. And Nate, if you follow the timeline, it is clear that Jay-Z was working against NFL ownership to get this thing to happen. And then Colin Kaepernick, because he doesn't really want to play in the NFL, like Stephen Smith said, he hijacked the whole thing. But again, people like myself, Fame Rothstein, and I actually gave Fame Rothstein a shout out in a video I made on Twitter about this entire situation. Nate, this whole thing, you have all these black athletes, these black journalists, these black TV personalities who stood by Colin, and they still support his cause, what he took a knee for that caused him to lose his job in the NFL and to expose some of the white owners in the NFL for their true nature of how they see players who are their employees. Now, again, a lot of good things came out of this whole take a knee movement. You got to give Colin credit for that. But once he was out of the league and the players like Eric Reed and Michael Jenkins continued to push his movement within the NFL, and they got the settlement from the NFL, I think it was upwards of $90 million over like a 6 or 7 year period. I forgot exactly the numbers. But Michael Jenkins, he did what Colin was supposed to do on the outside of the NFL. Okay, then you bring in Jay-Z, who, again, is that voice in the room. Everyone saw the pictures with him in the conference room with Roger Goodell announcing his association with the NFL. Now, Nate, why would Colin Kaepernick stab Jay-Z in the back as well as Michael Jenkins and other players who were part of this thing originally? The only reason he's doing this, Nate, is because Colin Kaepernick wants to become an official race hustler like his Talcum ex-brother, also known as the undercover brother, Shaun King. And yes, people, Shaun King is behind the Take a Knee for Money movement. So,
what?
Yes, sir.
Shaun King is behind the Take a Knee. Is that like the Make-A-Wish Foundation?
No,
the Take a Knee for Money movement? Is that something you just came up with? That's
the Drop Squad 52 hashtag, which I have many of them, Nate. And you know that. Oh, yeah. I got
Take a Knee for Money, huh? Look at you. I see you working, huh?
Yeah, just Google. If you want Google search, I have about 5 or 6 hashtags. If you Google search those hashtags, 90% of the content will be from Drop Squad 52. But that's just how I roll. And again, I gave your show, hashtag Nathan Ivy Show. You were blowing up for a minute because you know how I was working for you back then, Mr. Ivy. But anyway,
what happened?
Mr. Ivy,
what you mean back then? What happened?
What do you mean? Why?
You're still on the payroll.
I know I am. That's our secret, Mr. Ivy. Keep it secret.
What you mean? That's what you was doing back then. It's supposed to be nonstop.
Oh, Mr. Ivy, I'm an old man, sir.
It's all good. I appreciate the time. I appreciate your help when you was giving it.
All right. Okay. So, Mr. Ivy, before I hang up, I just want to let the people know, which I'm pretty sure a lot of the choppers already know, that the fake impeachment hearings will continue today With I think there's a schedule of 4 or 5 people that are scheduled to appear today. So,
today's going to be the day everybody's been waiting on.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
this is the big day with all the big key witnesses.
But Mr. Ivy, remember this name. Remember this one name, Tim Morrison. Okay, just remember that name, Mr. Ivy, Tim Morrison, because he may show up with a body vest loaded with explosives.
What?
Because yes, he has information, Nate, that could blow the whole thing up. I'm talking about blow the whole thing up, Nate, because unlike Adam Shifty Schiff, Trump is a gangster. Okay, Trump is the king that they miss. They miss, Nate. They miss with the Mueller report. They miss with Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah, but they're not going to miss with Vindman today, because that's the dude that was like the top Ukraine expert. You know what I'm saying? Right. He's the dude who's going to come in, look, the Patriot. You know what? Trump was a draft dodger. He dodged the draft, man. It's just ironic. Anyway.
Yeah, but Nate, Mr. Vindman is going to show up in his military uniform.
Yeah, he
that
is.
Tells you right there what they're trying to do.
What is that? Should he not wear his uniform?
Of course not. He shouldn't wear the uniform. You don't wear your uniform as a showpiece.
It's not a showpiece. That's what you do. When you're in the military and you go before Congress, you got to wear your uniform.
Nate, do you see Tulsi Gabbard running around on the campaign trail in her uniform?
No, I do not.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Bad example, though. She's running for office.
No, it's not. It's not a bad example.
It's a horrible example. You're right. It's a horrible example.
Right. This Vindman guy was one of the people on the call. Another person that was on the call was that name I mentioned, Tim Morrison. Okay? And then everybody else on the call are exercising executive privilege. Now, again, the true number of people that were on the call, we don't really know. But what we do know is Vindman, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, and Tim Morrison, up to this point, are the only two who are actually on the call who have appeared before the Schiff Show, also known as Pencil Neck Adam Shifty Schiff.
Yeah, but you know what? You're getting away from Jennifer Williams. What about her? Well, Jennifer Williams is an aide to Vice President Mike Pence, and
she was on the call.
No, she was in, I don't know, the White House Situation Room or something like that,
right,
listening to the Trump call, and she testified that she thought that it was unusual and inappropriate. What Trump? So you can't say she's a never Trumpster because she's on Mike Pence's staff. She's in the White House. That means she's on the team. I mean, here's what it looks like, man. It looks like your boy Trump is dirty. That's what it looks like. It looks like he may have done exactly what the Democrats are alleging that he did. Now, we both know this is all politics, right, Dra? We know that.
Right.
We know that.
But the Democrats don't know it. The Democrats, first they say it's a legal issue, then they say it's political.
Yeah, but you know what?
Come on, Nate.
But you know what?
They don't know what, now it's bribery.
But you know what?
It started off with quid pro quo.
But you know what? For me, my observation is that politics seems to share a lot of things in common with the system, the judicial system. And that is, in the judicial system, sometimes they'll marry a lie with the truth to get that ass. And sometimes the same thing works in politics. It is what it is.
Well, laws are made by elected officials. So the people who vote, if they don't vote with knowledge and wisdom and research, you get what you elected. Okay? So right now, the Democrats are just not happy with what some of the same American people who elected Barack Obama, the same people, they elected Donald Trump. And
you Republicans you just can't admit that Trump is wrong about anything. You just can't do it.
But Nate, they knew he was wrong when they elected him. Come on, Nate.
That's not the point.
This is Donald Trump. Grab him by the ussy. Okay? This is Donald Trump who told Hillary Clinton to basically suck his blank. on national TV. This is Donald Trump, the first orange gangster president, which everybody thought the first black president will be gangster like Trump, but he's not. But I'm not even going to talk about Barack and the bullshit and the stuff he's been saying over the weekend. The party is a mess, Nate. So it's going to continue today, okay? But again, all I've been saying is the Democrats just continue to give Trump more and more ammunition for this upcoming 2020 election. And whoever the Democrats put up. But the media and the Democrats are knocking their own candidates down. What is that, Nate? Okay, I'm not taking no more of your time, but thank you for taking my call, sir. And it's going to be interesting to see if the Chop Shop overseer was listening with bated breath. Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace.
He ain't worried about you. He ain't worried about you. He's unbothered like Omarion. I saw DJ Vlad got an exclusive interview with Omarion. This is not on your radar screen. This might be for folks that like that internet drama. It's for you. And be proud about it. But apparently, you know, he's the guy who was the lead singer for B2K, right? A lot of women in the Chop Shop profess their love for B2K. And currently, a woman who he has 2 children with is seeing one of his former bandmates. And they caught up with him. And Omarion, to his credit, was completely unbothered. He said, hey, have fun. Life's short. Next. And fellas, there's a lesson in it. There's a lesson. If you ever find yourself in that situation, that's what you do. You remain unbothered. You live your life. You just move on. He wished them well. And that was it. Great. How many people really love power? If you really love power, how many people are paying attention to the noise that 50 Cent's been making about the fact that Comcast is doing something different with stars? He's even put out there that they're effing up power by dropping stars. Is there some talk of Comcast dropping stars? Speaking of Comcast, I thought that Roland Martin had a very interesting conversation, quite honestly, with Byron Allen. And Byron Allen, of course, is the CEO of, Entertainment Studios. And he's got this big, super important Supreme Court case that everybody's been following and talking about. And I thought that it was a whole lot of good information. They talked about some of the history of like Urban One and why the cable network, why certain networks are on TV. Byron Allen talked about some of what he thought were the particulars of some of these cable networks that are, African American centered or focused. And what's the difference between being black focused, content and black owned content? I mean, what's the difference between black focused content and black owned content? And I would say there's a significant difference. I think the ownership will have a significant impact on the content in and of itself. It will reflect the overall attitudes of the ownership, right? Just makes sense. But again, here you go. Another high profile black man in entertainment, because that's what 50 Cent is. And oh, by the way, did you see that disgusting meme that he put out about Naturi Naughton, who is, as I've understood it, I haven't got a chance to really watch Power, but she played a significant role as an actress, through the whole life of that whole series. And apparently she's got some edges issues, because that happens to sometimes. Sometimes it's genetic. And what I mean by that, like her hairline seems like it's like really receded. And you never know why. It could be genetics. It could have been, her follicles, her hair wasn't taken care of properly when she was young. Sometimes you see this in women where their edges just pull real back. Hey, ladies, is that a big problem when that happens? I can imagine being uncomfortable, I guess, if you're a lady about something like that. And, I guess she had the female version of a Stephen A. Smith. And then it opened up all these conversations about shaming women whose hairline is receding. I mean, the internet is just a fascinating place, quite honestly. So all these conversations. That's the greatest thing about your phone, man. I mean, you can lay in bed and be dead out. And as you come to, you can pick up your phone and see what time it is and scroll through and stay up a little bit, and there it is. Don't you just love it? All from the power of your phone. But does your phone ever irritate the hell out of you, like you're receiving a lot of spam calls? I was on a website on YouTube. It's called CNBC, and they do a lot of great series. They did one called Why Spam Calls Are at an All-Time High. I may get a chance to play a little bit of that audio for you, some select clips that will give you a succinct view of what's going on. But apparently, robocalls are at an all-time high. Now, I got one of these T-Mobile joints, and T-Mobile offers, and I think this is free, or they say it's free and probably paying for it in some kind of hidden fee somewhere. But anyway, they've got this thing where they automatically will like scan your phone calls that are coming in, and they'll tell you whether they think it's a spam call or not. It is so convenient. Man, I turned my joint on quick. Turn on real quick. It works great. Because I was receiving a whole lot of calls from numbers, which is not the most uncommon thing in the world, but I was receiving a whole lot of like weird area codes calling me. Man, I turned the anti-spam on, and I feel like I get like 4 or 5 calls per day. But the national average is that everybody in America is getting at least 1.5 phone calls, these robocalls, a day. And you want to know why? It's the internet. Apparently accessing the cell phone information, the so-called phone network via the internet is something that these guys do. And sometimes they run scams. How many people got a robocall and it's a scam? They're just running your number. Have you ever received a phone call and it's from unknown? Or maybe it's a phone call from a number that you don't recognize. You pick it up, you say hello, there's nobody there. That's a computer checking to see if this number is valid. You know, it's like some damn Terminator-ish. They checking to see if a human's going to answer. Okay, and then you're going to get a phone call later on from the actual salesperson. It could be a scam. There's all kind of scams going on. Some of the biggest scams have to do with like student loan scams, refinancing scams. It's all kind of scams. It was fascinating. And you know, it's so interesting because I remember before cell phones that there was a conversation about the susceptibility of older people, whether they were being marketed through the TV, 1-800 numbers, and then your grandmother spending like 10 G's a year buying a whole bunch of shit from the Trinity Broadcasting Company or buying holy water. I mean, I seen it firsthand with my grandmother. Got a drawer full of like rusted nails, old Jet magazines, and about 10 vials of holy water she got from Jimmy Swaggart. And some old nickels. And a half a pack of playing cards. And the butt of a cigarette. And that's it. all in one drawer. You open the drawer, you gotta wrestle with it. Like you're wrestling Zeus, like your arm wrestling Zeus. You finally get the damn thing open, and that's what you're greeted with. But see, back in the day, the conversation was the susceptibility of older people through Target mailings and these 1-800 numbers. Well, what I found out, would it surprise you to know that it's like 18 to 25-year-olds who are falling, they seem to be more susceptible to these robocalls on the cell phone. Because that's because these folks is new to the game. They answering this joint. That's what it is. 18 years old, anytime you get a phone call, you're going to answer, hello? Free? Yeah, here's my information. Gotta watch it, man. Gotta watch it in these days. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag Team NI. Check it out. Bunky writes, what's up, Nate in the choppers? Check it out. Appreciate it. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan in the choppers. Good to see you. Clue Magic writes, good morning, Nate in the choppers. Good to see you, sir. Iris Rowley writes, good morning, great people. Hey, good to see you, Iris. Good to see you. I'm way late. Sister V writes, Hotep, beautiful black people. It was good to see Sister V this weekend. Yeah, with Miss Opal Lee. Yeah, it was an excellent time. It was magical. I don't know if it was planned that way, Sister V, but you had the brothers from the Dad Initiative. Was it planned that way? It's great planning. Sometimes things just come together. Miss Tiffany writes, morning. Kelly writes, good morning. Hackshaw Jim Thuggin writes, Nathan, I saw your tweet about being under the weather. You could have recovered quicker if someone hitting you with a 2x4. I'm just saying. You could have recovered quicker if someone hit you with a 2x4. You're right. Brian writes, morning. I think maybe you're not right. Tracy writes, Iris, how was your day? Miss Opal 93 gave me much inspiration. Iris writes, Nathan Ivy, thanks for pushing this. Signatures are needed by the end of the year. Oh, absolutely. Hacksaw writes, Popeye, he's been whooping bigger nigwas. Popeye will let him swim first, even if his arms is bigger. Drop Squad 50, I can't even get it out. Drop Squad 52 writes, F Juneteenth, reparations. Well, I mean, I see it as just another part of the overall effort to raise cultural awareness, which I think could have a positive impact in the movement about reparations. Speaking of reparations, let's turn to the end a little bit because there's been some things going on. So we know about the ADOS conference that just happened, right? Now, Tariq Nasheed is doing a conference. Yes. So ADOS, the American Descendants of Slaves, that was started by Antonio Moore and Yvette Carnell. I'm not sure how else. I just know them. And ADOS has risen in terms of its prominence as a conversation piece to the point where, presidential candidates have been asked about this. And everybody knows Tariq Nasheed. If you don't know, he is the brainchild behind the Hidden Colors series, which I think is, there should be courses about it in high school. That's how deep it is, man. Damn. And he's a longtime, member of the black digital media space, primarily using YouTube. I think he's had his account shut down a couple times. He also does some other things. I think somebody sent a SWAT team to his house last year, the year before that, claiming that there was a black man with a gun. These guys come in with the heavy artillery. And if you Google his name, I'm sure it'll come up. But now he's got something called, let me see here. Now he's got something called the FBA conference. The FBA conference. And it's Foundational Black American. It's a convention. And I mean, this stuff has got so deep that he got kicked off of Kickstarter. He's been trying to raise $200,000 for it. And apparently it's because of some of his critiques of the movie Harriet. He had a YouTube video titled The Harriet Flop and the Desperation to Save Face. I know many people enjoy his flows. Yeah. Then I know that Michi X, who used to be with Fly Nubian, was it Sisters, Queens? And now she's doing her own thing on YouTube. She had a problem with Tariq. Why is he raising money for a convention? Like, I didn't understand why. What difference does it make? He wants to do a convention, let him do a convention. You can't be no activist. You really an entertainer selling them movies. I'm like, okay. Everybody's selling something on YouTube. That's what you do. So a little bit of updates there. I have been paying attention. Kinda. Hackshaw writes, the talk show host actually gave Fane Rothstein props, ? Instead of light dissing, snarky insults, and letting others drag him, the talk show host actually showed love. The world is ending. Hug your babies. Sarcasm. I always give props and props are due. Ray writes, I was listening to WLW last night and they referenced Marvin going to Cleveland. Well, Hugh Douglas, who used to be the offensive coordinator, I believe, here in Cincinnati, then he went to become the head coach in Cleveland. He was supposed to meet with Colin Kaepernick over the weekend, but when Colin started, changing the rules and within the last 3 hours, he decided not to show up. What kind of black man is that? Again, I will say this again. Colin Kaepernick getting a job back helps the NFL because it'll soften their image and a lot of people will stop their boycott. But now we're learning that I mean, you know, the NFL is built to endure a couple of teams having bad years. They've got built-in incentives for the fan base. Because here's how it works. Yeah, it's bad this year, you 0-10. Let's say they go 0-17. You know what that means? That means number one pick in the draft. So it's built into the system to re-energize the enthusiasm of the fan base after you've been disappointed and wasted your damn money for years and years and years. You know why? Draft picks. And then they'll start selling them as a savior. People, they try to put this on the black community, but people in general fall for the savior routine. White people and black people fall for the savior routine. They'll fall for, a good savior, you gonna save us? They'll get behind the new quarterback or the new running back or the new wide receiver and tight end combination from the trendiest school that won the Heisman, that fought in the national game. And sports fans, they're going to wheel you right back in. Oh, they got offensive linemen. Oh, this might be our year. Oh, we got a quarterback. And boom, there it is. That's why I'm done with you. I'm done with you sports fans. Just enjoy it. I'm not even going to get on you about it because I know how it works. As bad as the Bengals are, come early, midsummer, they'll be talking about after the draft. Oh, man, you see we picked up Tua Tagovailoa or Brent Collins or whoever the hell is Rashad Evans. Those names always seem to, they always seem to have those kind of names in the draft, in the college draft. And the hottest Cornhusker or Buckeye or Michigan Wolverine in the fan base will be, oh, we got that new sweet DB. They'll be right back at it. Get you a brand new jersey. We got us a savior, and that's how the NFL, I see it. It's very obvious. And I bring this up only because of, or should I say with a more serious tone or element to that conversation, is that it looks like Connie Pillich is going to make that to be probably maybe a signature piece of her campaign for Hamilton County Commissioner. And the Montgomery Democrat is being reported is going to announce her campaign at 12:15 p.m. today in front of the county administration building down on Court Street. Now, keep in mind, Alicia Reece, black female Democrat, state rep for many years, among other things. Remember, this woman was fighting for your voter Bill of Rights, right? Homegrown. Her name is already out there. Just last week, she was outside, I believe, City Hall, standing next to the mayor of Cincinnati, John Cranley, who everybody loves. Everybody loves John Cranley. What does this mean? What does this mean to you? Clue Magic writes, lose every game. Never forget that feeling of losing. Draft Chase Young. Be aggressive in free agency with your O&D lines. Move forward. Broadway, Stark first of his name, writes, greetings from the true north. The Raven arrived with some news. The people who boycott the NFL have finally realized that their king is a spoiled bastard that doesn't deserve to be king. As Lord of the Chop Shop, it is so decreed. You may drop your Kaepernick banner and resume the consumption of the NFL product. Shout out to the alt-middle brethren for the foresight. Hashtag alt-middle Ayatollah stand up. We'll go ahead and rock you on that. We'll give you about 4 ABs. It's a good flow. Tony writes, caught your last podcast, Clue. Well done. Excellent. Excellent. Cassandra writes, hey, choppers. Mike Jones writes, the GOP voted to do away with $200 million in funding for HBCUs. Trust but verify. That's right. Trust but verify. All right, let me take a quick break. We'll come right back. Don't go anywhere. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal. Broadcasting live from beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. And we shall be right back.
I'm Donna Wilson. More and more companies are looking to see how we can capitalize on Africa's economy. Africa's GDP is expected to rise $4 to $7 trillion by the year 2030. And according to Deloitte, the consumer opportunity in Africa rests on 5 key pillars. The The rise of the middle class, exponential population growth, the dominance of youth, rapid urbanization, and the fast adoption of digital technology. Well, there's a call for non-compete bans. A coalition of U.S. states has called for a ban on non-compete agreements and employment contracts, arguing that it keeps workers from the better pay and benefits offered by competitors. The agreements are common among employers who rely on them to protect company information, but they've been scrutinized as overly broad. It is estimated 60 million Americans work under such an agreement. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
And if you live in the Cincinnati area, I want to remind you that this week is Cincinnati Black Restaurant Week. Eat, empower, engage. It's all this week, presented by the Urban League Young Professionals. And it's got a whole list here of all Black-owned restaurants. I think this is a great idea. I see Cincy Soul Presents is a part of it. Shout out to J. Raj. And I'm sure you're already hip to the game. And you got all the names of you should hit and lock these in. I'm trying to see if there's anybody here who I'm not aware of. And this is a great way. And they're saying to me, this is not just this week. This is your guide right here. I mean, let's say you got an event coming on, and you need somebody to get you some, some food. Boom, here it is. Right? There it is. Let's say you're looking for a place to meet a client. Boom, there it is. There it is. Let's say you're looking for some wings. Boom, there it is. Let's say you want to get a brew. Boom, there it is. Let's say you're looking for some chicken. There it is. There it is. All right. That is hilarious. That is quite hilarious. Good morning, everybody. That's funny. You're right about that, brother. You're so right. Cam writes, good morning. The cop mounted that double amputee as an erotic feeling. Yes, double. I thought it was a quadruple amputee from what I read and what I actually saw. And it happened out in Arizona. And there's a video of it. And you can hear this man is saying, get off of me. Get your hands off of me. And he's calling him the N-word. Get off of me, N-word. Da, 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 da. And, it's just a bad scene. I don't know why the cop was like pressing his weight on him. But I think that when you're a member of law enforcement, it doesn't really matter if you're old or young or an amputee or not. I don't think that they are taught to approach an amputee any different than they would anybody else. So it's kind of like they got to interpret it in the moment, right? That's just an unfortunate scenario. And now you've got an Arizona deputy that's under investigation. This is a teenager, by the way, 15-year-old. And just as I said, it's a very disturbing viral video. Let me get a link here for you, and you can check it out for yourself if that's something that you want to get into. Feel free to do so. Hold on here. Let me grab it. Okay, I got it. And I'm going to put this inside of the chop shop, so to say. Why did Colin Kaepernick have a T-shirt on that read Kunta Kinte? Can you interpret that for me? Who is Kunta Kinte, and why in the world would Colin Kaepernick do that at his workout? And does that, in and of itself, did that kill the deal off top? Because it's like, damn, if this is your workout, which is kind of like an interview. So whether you agree or you disagree with the symbolism or the overall meaning that, Colin Kaepernick was trying to give out. I mean, could you imagine interviewing somebody, you giving them an interview, and this mofo rolls in here with a Kunta Kinte T-shirt on? Now, you might be saying, Nate, I mean, this is different. This is the NFL. Okay, great. I agree it is different. But what's similar is that we're essentially talking about a job interview. And was that Colin Kaepernick sending a message that he cared more about making statements than making successful drives down the NFL football field? I don't know. I mean, we'll never know. I think there's people out there that are invested in Colin Kaepernick getting back in the NFL because for them, it'll kind of be like, hey, I'm coming back now. But for me, I'm still struggling to figure out why this all matters. Why this all matters. I guess it matters because it's on TV, right? Let me see here. Okay. Let me see. What's up, Terry Lancaster? New follower. What's up, Terry? Yeah, good morning to you. Mike Davis writes, Black people, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None of ourselves can free our minds. Sinatra was white, and I bet he didn't have other whites hating on him like some black people hate on each other. I'm just saying. I'm working backwards. Jay-Z needs to start his own football league. That would be cool, but the NFL is so ingrained in football sports culture that it's damn near it is the sport. You know, they determine what football is. Now, you might say it's just a sport. Okay, great. I agree with you. It's just a sport. I agree with you, but it is what it is. I don't make it up. Tracy writes on Connie Pillich, when she ran for governor, she couldn't get anyone to run with her. She even asked Alicia, who declined. So she dropped out. The position Yvette Simpson got, she wanted it. So went to D.C., only lasted less than a year before she was back, failed, ran for other seats, and quit. Her only claim is that she raised almost $1 million in donations and put it in a trust. Allegedly, Denise Driehaus is behind gathering her out to run. Facts. Is that right? So Denise Driehaus. Is that the dealio? It's interesting. Is that a fair description of her recent career? Yeah, so she said her only claim to fame is that she raised some money. Well, that means something, right? That's significant. Paul Brown Stadium is supposed to be paid off in 2032. That's 14 years from now. We'll call it 13 years from now. And Connie Pillich wants the stadium tax to sunset. Currently, there is no sunset clause on the stadium tax. Quote, when it's done and paid for, we need to stop handing out corporate welfare checks that the taxpayers are funding. Now, does Connie Pillich mean that include outside of the Bengals? Because I think at this point, most people will agree. Most people in Hamilton County, if you ask them, is it worth the investment? They're going to tell you no. And the reason why is because the only reason why they invested in it is that they were hoping that the investment as fans that they put into it would, somehow be realized, that they'd get a return on investment. So far, you haven't gotten that return on investment. The other reason why I think people voted on it is because they saw the Bengals as a crucial piece of the development of Cincinnati. And I'd like to know if you feel the same way. Are the Bengals, despite what you've heard me say, are they a crucial piece of Cincinnati? Are they our anchor to the banks and therefore the downtown district? Is it better for us to be an NFL team or not? Connie Pillich says she wants to focus on addressing issues such as infant mortality. Well, when she says infant mortality, she's talking about black infant mortality, I'm sure. All the babies, right? Building a new Western Hills Viaduct and other transportation project issues that have been important to Todd Portune. Get this. She says, I want to continue Todd's legacy. So think about this. Alicia Reece got an endorsement from John Cranley. Connie Pillich is running on Todd Portune's legacy. And everybody loved Todd Portune. Everybody loved Todd Portune. Everywhere you go, people say the great things about Todd Portune. So this is going to be real easy. It's going to be real interesting. Where would the black community go? Will it automatically go to Alicia Reece because she's a sister? How will black Democrats feel about this? This will be interesting. How will progressives feel about this? How will the gays and lesbians feel about this? How will the business community feel about this? She writes, quote, I'm going to be a little bit more of an independent voice. We seem to have two camps. I'm not tethered to any other elected official, whether it be the mayor or the two elected officials on the commission. I work hard to remain that way. So she says, I'm independent. Will that make the difference? Is that what county voters want to hear? What do you think, Choppers? Let's chop it up first. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a Steelers fan, but they only have a history of losing. It would be different if they had a really strong history of winning, then fell off and are rebuilding, and they only lose. So, no, I don't think it's crucial because fans and giving up on it's our year, it will never be their year. Ray writes, I looked outside the box. It's all about moving the money around. No, you may not get in, but your buddies may. Cincy Tigers writes, top of the morning, what's the word? Hey, good to see you, Cincy Tigers. What's up with that Avi? I'm checking out your Avi. What is that, Dave Chappelle? I've seen that before. Dave Chappelle is the greatest comedian alive. Period. Mason Marler writes, anyone else know the top 4 candidates for NFL MVP are all black quarterbacks? Hackshaw Jim Thunga says, they saying Nasheed is a pedophile and he started messing with his wife when she was 16. But he is a hypocrite because his wife is biracial. But he shits on white people with his white mother-in-laws always present. Nonetheless, Nasheed is entertaining. Broadway start first of his name writes, Battle of the Race Hustlers. Don't y'all get tired of being exploited for gain? Ray writes, I've been getting warranty scam calls for the last month. Yeah, I've been getting, I don't know if it's a warranty scam call, man, but for about 3 months, a woman's been trying to call me. Okay. I was in the mood one day. I answered the phone, wasn't sure who it was going to be. And she's telling me something about the warranty on my car. And my wife and I, we don't know what we're going to do with our car. You know, we might keep it. We might trade it in. We're not really sure. Okay. So I finally get on the phone with this woman, and I immediately get passed off to another dude. I know what it is. It's all about sales. They're trying to sell me an extension on my warranty for my automobile. But I don't want an extension for my automobile. That's what I told the dude. Oh, he got pushy. I'm just looking at the phone because I want to see how far he was going to go with it. You know, just for my own entertainment in that moment. And, I mean, this man got downright pushy. I had to ask him, are you on drugs? Oh, you should have heard it. Because he was acting like he was geeking. Like he had just got a rush. And he didn't know how to shut up. Long story short, I got passed on to another female. She's the supervisor. And they're trying to convince me that I've got to make a decision today, like the day I was on the phone with them, about whether I want to get an extension for my warranty. I mean, you're talking about $400 a month. Just because they say so, and, you know, if not, then you're not going to be able to get this. And I'm like, I don't give a damn about any of that. Give a damn. And I thought, wow. So I've had phone calls from people trying to give me all kind of stuff. Hey, sir, you know, we got this. I don't want it. I don't want it. Don't call me anymore. And T-Mobile offers this service where they give you scam calls, but it doesn't filter all the calls. And if you ever receive a phone call from a number, it might even be unknown, you pick it up, say hello. That's what the bot is trying to do. It's trying to ascertain whether you're there or not. It's the same thing that the Terminators are going to do when they decide to execute Plan Alpha and exterminate all human beings. It's going to be the same thing. I went sci-fi there for a second. Just for a second. Strong opinion, Tracy. Very strong opinion on Connie Pillich. What do you think about Connie Pillich? Do you know anything about her? Tracy writes, this chat room is a damn playpen. Mason Mahler writes, I dance a mess. Sometimes it is. Fame is called negotiating, and they were willing to listen because of my experience. You act like that's never been done before. Broadway writes, Pam is the first person in history to tell her potential employer where and how she will interview. Black history in the chop shop. Tracy writes, newsflash, it's not mandatory for black folks to agree with black folks. Be a free thinker. We know it. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. Nathan Axe drop about Trump and his failed USFL and how he played Herschel Walker. Broadway writes, Colin is a puppet. Ever wonder why he don't do interviews? Karamir writes, it's a great morning, Choppers and Nathan. I'm moving backwards here. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, listen, if you can get some inspiration from what Colin is doing, take some inspiration. Take what does somebody used to say, eat the fish and spit out the bones? Eat the fish and spit out the bones. That's what you do. Eat the flesh and spit out the bones. That's what I say, man. I got no problem with Colin. That's what he wants to do. Great. He's raising awareness. Great. Cassandra writes, no, he didn't, Bunky, and he should have. Mike Davis writes, get off the plantation. Work for yourself. You can do it. I believe in you. Ray writes, Nathan Wright, my sister had the same deal. It went left. They were very aggressive. Tracy writes, nah, Nathan, we don't know. We don't now. The word coon is still being tossed around like a salad. Like a salad. Oh, my gosh. Tracy writes, all we want to know, Connie, is what makes you qualify for the seat, asking for voters. Did the streets QB get suspended for starting a brawl? I don't know what that means. I think he means the Steelers QB. I think that's what you mean. Mike Jones writes, just think if black people stood together and fought white supremacies, but there were blacks who hated MLK in the 60s too. Not comparing Colin to MLK. Yeah, and it was black people that killed Malcolm X. And Malcolm X got killed in front of his family, up close and personal, by black men. And the environment that created those murderous conspirators was created by a man who gets a lot of respect today. Farrakhan. Y'all might forget this, but you remember his famous interview with the daughter of Malcolm X, side by side, and Mike Wallace, 60 Minutes. He sat there right next to the daughter of a man who he admitted in that interview that he had helped to whip up the atmosphere against him. I mean, shit. I think it was like 7 years prior to that interview. He had did some videos in which he was talking about Malcolm X, and he was telling America to stay out their damn business. Don't worry about what we did to Malcolm X. Yeah, so, I mean, the black community is not a monolith, and it never will be. Unless they bring slavery back, because we'll all agree then that's pretty bad. Is anybody thinking about the 64,000 women missing in the Mayor KKK, or are we still on John Legend? I don't think anybody brought up John Legend today. I did bring up Snoop, though, the new John Legend. Yeah, I am aware of that. Yeah, I am very aware of it. And the crimes that happen to black women, especially in some of these, poverty-stricken neighborhoods, it just totally gets overlooked. Let me see. Tracy writes, no alt here, Mason. I'm a loner. Okay. I know Fox whose side we're supposed to take, the side that is perpetually wrong just because they're black. Is that right? Is that how you see it? That's interesting. Could be. I disagree with you, though, but could be. Did you see the interview with J. Raj, who's a local entrepreneur, black entrepreneur, and he is the person behind not just a Black Cincy Soul, but also the Black Restaurant Week. And he says that it will empower black businesses across Cincinnati. And essentially, if you think about it, it's a week in which they want people to focus on, having lunch, maybe having dinner, having breakfast, maybe picking up some cookies or something like that, or whatever you're picking up, to make that little small effort to spend your money with black-owned businesses. Now, I know I'm speaking to the choir. I know many of you have seen sort of the digital, promotional elements about that. I'm looking here inside the Friends page, and I see somebody posted it. And, how could you not be for those efforts? Yeah, absolutely. It's great. There were 2 black women approached at 2 different Walmart here. Is that right? Mm-hmm. There were some kids over in College Hill that was approached, too, by some man that bumped into them on purpose. Let's see. Somebody writes, stay on code, Fame. Yeah, I'm not sure what the hell Fame is doing. Tracy writes, Nate, did your wife replace her phone? Not yet. Yeah, not yet. And she did lose her phone, left it in Chicago. And, she thought somebody had stole it off the counter at the airport. She left it in Chicago. I'm not sure how you know this. Maybe she put it out on social media. I'm not sure. And then, but it's funny because when your phone gets taken, you can shut the phone down, but it'll flash a message. So we did that, and the phone was found. And so we're going to make the steps to process it now. So the wifey, man, it's just so funny how this works. So to me, you've got, when it comes to cell phones, as I understand, you have 2 major operating systems. You've got your iOS, and that's going to be your Apple products, and then you've got your Android phone. Now, the way technology works, I am familiar with both of those languages. Okay, my cell phone is Android, but of course, I use an iPad every single day to do the show and to do other things. So I'm hip to how iOS works as well. But it's just so funny how phones work. Like, when you have your phone and you've got everything set up, man, you are connected. You can be as connected as you want to be in a digital world. You can have all your notifications on everything. Anytime somebody happens in your sphere, your world, you're getting a notification. Or you can selectively turn notifications on, right? So my wife is a longtime Apple phone user, operator. She got my daughter into that. I'm all about that Android life, right? They think I'm crazy. I think they're crazy. They talk about the pros. I talk about the pros. And it is what it is. Okay, a little bit of fun inside the household. Man, but give her an Android phone, which is what they did over at T-Mobile, because I don't know what happened. They didn't have her phone in stock or something like that. It was going to be a couple of days. Man, this woman, it's like has no idea how to use a phone whatsoever. So how do I take a call? How do I do this? I don't like this. But, not to pick on her, but it's just like that. So I'm the same way. The first time I had an Apple phone in my hand. I'm looking at it like, what do I do? And where's the volume? I have no idea. It's like that. So if you're a longtime Apple user, never had an Android, somebody give you an Android phone, man, it might as well be a Rubik's Cube. You don't know what the hell to do with this thing. And vice versa, right? This is interesting. So she's going through that. We call it technological growing pains. I told her to learn that language. Learn that Android language. So when cops start running down on the black kids, the ones hating on the black man who sacrificed his career and the life for the cause, y'all will be the same people asking why aren't NBA or NBA players speaking up. Can't have it both ways. Mike Davis writes, what happens in our house stays in our house. That's the code. Well, I guess that appears to be the code. Hackshaw writes, who's code, Fox? How is the code you following any better than the one I follow? Stop using the code words, B. What in the hell? Y'all is nuts, man. Absolutely nuts. If you want to share your thoughts this morning, 513-873-7134. I'm live. I'm local. And I'm Vocal, broadcasting live from beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, let me jump inside the Friends page and shout out to Tracy who posted this. I haven't seen this, but we're already a hip to this. I told you last week, the Trump administration, within the last 2 weeks, kicked off its efforts to try to attract black voters. They're serious about it. It's called Black Voices for Trump. And, get this. You can text WOKE to 88022 to join Black Voices for Trump, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to do it right now. I want to stay up. I'm going to text WOKE to 88022 because that's what this is, right? The woke movement. So now the Trumpsters are adopting the woke movement's language. They took out a complete back page ad in Cincinnati's Herald, right? I bet the Cincinnati Herald was happy as hell. They said, you want to do what? Of course you can take the entire back page. Is it wrong for local media to do such a thing? Is it wrong for your local paper to do that? Now, I would say, well, you tell me. You tell me. See, Donnie B posted, why can't the Herald ban that dude from our paper? Because they pay. Because they're paying. And if you're a media company, there's nothing on here that is offensive that I can read, other than we know that Trump does not care about black voices unless they are for Trump. Black Voices for Trump. And they are on code. They are on code. They're picking up off what they learned from the operations that their Russian internet counterparts was using, and they're going to use sophisticated means to try to attract the black vote. Now, what I mean by this, well, Black Voices, woke. I see the image here is of two black females. Two black females. One's got a USA hat on. The other's got a red MAGA hat on. Why is it two black females? There's a reason behind that. They're very smart to do that. And join Black Voices for Trump. And I think it'll be successful. I think that they'll get some people who are like Blexit or Democrats and been turned off. And I think that they'll feel like there'll be people who feel like Trump gives them an appeal. But that's just the beginning. It's not even... it's not even 2020 yet, yo. They already saying join Black Voices for Trump. Because they want to identify you. If you're a Trump supporter or a Trump sympathetic, they want to tell you how you can volunteer. They want to tell you how you can donate your money. And they want to convince you to try to get your friends involved with the pro-Trump campaign. And it might work. It might work. Maybe it should work. Maybe it should work. You tell me. Judge Joe Brown tells Umar Johnson's putting Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill downs masculinity. Oh, my God. They still talking about Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. The most ridiculous thing ever. Oh, boy. Let me catch up here. Hacksaw writes, Fame set the standard. Look at Fame talking about himself, but using the name Hacksaw. Fame writes, Fame set the standard. Fame writes, Fame set the standard. Hold on, see, I might have a robocall here right now. We'll see. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Well, good morning, man. What up, though?
Hey, what's up with you, man?
I'm checking the cracks in the black ice, bro.
Are you? Yeah, are you? We'll holler at you in 2020, man. I appreciate it, though. Yeah, keep us in mind, man. People miss you, B. You down right now, man. I'm glad you got a message out. You sent a kite out. We got it. That was Black Lion, everybody. He's thinking about us. I love hearing that, man. Thank you so much for your interest in the show. I really appreciate it. But you on black ice as you put it for a little while, man. Come on, bro. Take this time like a man. Don't snitch. Cassandra writes, everything threatens masculinity nowadays. Does it? Everything. Okay, so I believe that there are some threats to masculinity as we might say traditional, which now some people would take that as a bad way of looking at it. Do I think that everything is threat? Not everything's a threat. Let me see. Sound like Black Trump talking in third person, LOL. Cincy Tigress writes, Nathan, why? You mean Black Lion? Oh my God. Did you see what this man said to me? It is so disrespectful. Oh my God. We can't have that kind of vitriol. Broadway writes, free Black Lion. Mason Marley writes, Nate hung up so fast I couldn't catch the feelings. I actually didn't hang up on him. I just potted him down. Mike Jones writes, BL got to stop calling that man out of his name, though. Sissy Tigers writes, I must have missed it. Why is BL out? Well, BL out is not ever out. He's always welcome to come into the show. Mason Marley writes, free Black Russia, Black Lion, and black tube socks. Hacksaw writes, Mason is the most liberal community in the region. TF? Cassandra writes, there are some legit threats, but how does putting a woman on money threaten masculinity? Now, Cassandra, that's a hell of a good question right there. I don't get that. I don't know what the hell these brothers are talking about, man. And apparently Judge Joe Brown is outraged at the idea of Harriet Tubman being on a $20 bill. And apparently he said that because he felt like, he felt like that basically it should be a black man first. And for it to be a black female, it's an insult to black men and it downs masculinity. Now, this is Judge Joe Brown. Quote, the objective is these feminists are trying to do this movie so they can get a black woman put on a $20 bill. And he was doing something called the Valerie Denise Jones Show. I'm not hip to her. Sure, she does great work. Yeah, it got deep. Got real deep. And apparently, Dr. Umar Johnson was a part of the conversation as well. I won't play it, but I can give you a link if you're interested. Let me know. In fact, I will do that. Mason Marler writes, the West Side is the most conservative, though. Always has been. The West Side African-American over there. Camp Washington Chili type nigwas. The Minister of Info writes, what's up, Nate? What's up, Minister? Let me see here. Tis BL, that's Mason Marler. Tony writes, that was too funny. Black Ice. I miss his contributions. I do. I really do. Trust me. If you'd like to share your thoughts, 513-873-7134. Black Lion calling me from private numbers. As soon as it came up, I knew who it was. Because the robocalls didn't start until later. Plus, that would be on another line anyway. Bunky writes, Judge Joe Brown was correct. Is he now? Let me see here. I got some emails. Hold on. There was one email in particular I wanted to make sure I put out there. Let's see here. Where, yeah. Anthony. Okay, I got your email, Anthony. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's still an interest from people to do the CCW class. Now, at this point, I'm thinking that perhaps we'll pick back up in the new year. I'll catch up with the folks over at Ride or Die, see what Sunday they have available. Again, that would be a Sunday thing. I know some people, they go to church on Sunday. You do it every Sunday. That's just what you do on Sundays. Okay. And, if there's enough of an interest, and perhaps they've got a Saturday open, but Sundays is typically when they can get open. And it's indoor. They do have access to outdoor facilities, but, it'll be indoors with the weather. And whether you go with us or you go on your own, I would definitely recommend them. And they are Black owned. They are Black owned. After we Wait. Because Harriet First on money only strengthens the notion that the black community, the most effed up of all the American communities, is led by women. No other community is led by women. And look at us. Minister writes, the CCW class, I had a lot of stuff going on, but I'm back. Oh, absolutely. That's what made me think about it when I saw you come in, Minister, because I know that you're interested. And I just want to put it out there so you know, as I said, that we'll do some more classes and we'll pick back up in 2020. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be traveling. You got people coming in town. You're going to spend money on gifts. I understand. I got the message. I get it. I do. How many people either going out of town? You got people coming into town to be staying at your house or nearby the Airbnb. You know what it is. You're going to be busy. You're going to be busy. When is Hollywood going to make the movie about Malcolm X and his assassination at the hands of another black man? Maybe Tyler Perry will do it. Well, Spike Lee did it, didn't he? I don't remember the end of it. Did it end with his death? And I don't know. Oh my gosh. It never ends, I see. Why did Colin Kaepernick wear a Kunta Kinte t-shirt? Did he make that online? Did he go to Teespring? And who is Kunta Kinte? Kunta Kinte was portrayed by LeVar Burton in the 1977 miniseries Roots. It's funny, I was talking to my little brother last night. I called him up and said, what are you doing? He said, he's watching Roots on Fire Stick. I loved it. That is an appropriate use. Because he was getting his culture on. And, that scene when they was breaking Kunta and changing his name to Toby. Remember that? And he refused to accept his master's name, his white master's name. And they kept whipping him for his disobedience. Do you remember that? Damn. Again, Kunta Kinte is the main character in The Roots, the saga of an American family. It was Alex Haley 1976 novel. And it became the basis for an epic ABC miniseries in the late 70s called Roots. There was tens of millions I think it topped over 100 million viewers. I remember being young and people talking about it. Slightly more than half of all U.S. households with a TV watched the finale of the 8-part series, and it was nudity and everything. Yeah. Black bodies under the name of education on display back in the 70s on mainstream TV. Yeah. And Kunta Kinte was kidnapped from Africa, transported across the Atlantic, and forced into slavery in the American South. So that's who Kunta Kinte is. Just to give you some. So how's that significant to Colin Kaepernick? Is he saying that he is Kunta Kinte and not really Toby? I'm Kunta, dammit, and I'm not going to change for you. Is that what he's saying? I mean, what exactly is he saying? I'd love to get your thoughts on it, and you can break it down for me. Again, 513-873-7134. What's the ratio of people celebrating Kwanzaa over Christmas? Mike Davis writes, that's a t-shirt. My name ain't Toby. Cassandra writes, well, if we be honest, women are the backbone of just about every community. So you saying we just shadow support and don't deserve any recognition? ? Men have always been in the forefront and always been on money, always been the public faces of being leaders. Why not a woman? ? I agree with everything she just said. Cincy Tigers writes, he wore the shirt because he's saying he's no Toby. I agree, correctamundo. He said, I ain't no damn Toby. There's a lot of Tobys out there. There's a high concentration of Tobys here in the North. It would make sense because of the historical trends, just the dynamics of being what people call the northernmost southern city. That's how some people used to refer to Cincinnati. The northernmost southern city in America. Wait a minute. We above the Ohio River, but we're not that far above the Ohio River. It's like right there, literally. The Ohio River is omnipresent in the lives of a lot of people that live in the Cincinnati area, depending on where they live. They either can see it from their house, or they drive past it every day when they're doing their daily routine, or they're driving over the Ohio River. Is it safe to say that in at least 1 week, at some point, you can either see the river, you're driving over the river, or you're at a place where you can see the river, maybe at a restaurant or somebody's house, or you're jogging with your dog. Let me see here. Let me pick back up with your chat before you roll out of here this morning. And I do appreciate you being here. TNT writes, I think that Kunta Kinte t-shirt was dope as hell, and I want one and Kaepernick jersey. Let me see. Tony writes, somehow watching African titties didn't seem that awkward to me back then. Still don't. That's what we saying now. Cincy Tigers writes, Toby be good nigga for massa. To break a black man's spirit is the ultimate accomplishment for the colonizer. That's what made that scene back in Roots so iconic, right? And LeVar Burton, you mean Reading Rainbow, Jordy from Star Trek Generation. Shout out to LeVar Burton. Bunky writes, white oppressors are on money, Cassandra. Why don't we put bigger long on the $2 bill? Same concept. I don't see Harriet Tubman being on any money being an accolade. No, I don't see that. Can't do it. Oh man, great stuff. Love it. What is this? This is interesting. What is this here? Okay. I'm looking at an op-ed with Cincinnati.com, and it is interesting. So there was all this conversation about people's satisfaction with Cincinnati Public Schools and the fact that the Cincinnati School District was rated a D. We talked with some current school board members running for re-election, and all of them said the same thing. They expressed a lack of 100% confidence in the way that Ohio grades its particular school districts. And I think there's some merit in that. It just kind of makes sense. But somebody wrote an op-ed piece saying that, look at this, Julie Sellers. And essentially she's saying that, 70% of voters show confidence in Cincinnati Public Schools by renewing the tax levy. So is that the right way to read it, though, that it was a show of confidence? Maybe they can extrapolate that because 70%, maybe if it was 51%, you would, conclude something different. I don't know. But I don't know. For me, it's not so much that you show confidence. It's just that you believe in the reality of what things cost. If you want a good Cincinnati public school system, then we need to support it with the levies. And I think that's what it comes down to. And again, having spent some time in there, I think that people think they've got more resources at their disposal than they really do. That's what I think. It's going to take money. You got to support them. That's interesting. So make up your mind. Make up your mind. We're about that time. I think, what did Ozzy say? He said he's still on the school board until the end of December. I was thinking about that just the other day. And I'm not happy about that Ozzy Davis will no longer be on the school board. Again, Ben Lindy's coming in. We'll see what happens. You never know. Never know. Let's just see. Strange facts. All the slave owners in Roots were portrayed by actors who were considered America's favorite dads from popular family shows of the 70s. Is that right? Was that strategy? Slave narratives are emotional for blacks. Once y'all brought that T-shirt, you further proven my point. Kunta Kinte was not given a job workout. He was told to work. Y'all are insufferable. We get your point. We get it. We get your point, fam. I give you props, man. You were right. It appears that perhaps you were right. And again, I think ultimately, what difference does it make? You know, Nike's going to get into the ad campaign. You know, what role is Nike playing in all of this? Are they just like, you know, the film crew looking to shoot the drama? Or are they like a positive change agent? I don't know. I do not know. We'll find out together. But again, thank you so much for your time this morning. I really appreciate it. I'll be back and better than ever tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. We'll chop it up. And we will chop it up. Look for more clips from the Cutting Through the BS podcast hosted by Clue Magic and Fast Pitch. You can look for a new Cincinnati NAACP podcast this week as well. And the Dope Chicks Collective. Donnie B on Friday, Is It Just Me podcast. And a Hot Mic podcast, perhaps as well. Oh, Drop just busted what is this? Take a Knee for Money. What? TNT writes, Jim Thuggin, you over here thinking it. To me, the name Kunta Kinte represents the courageous stance to hold true to who you are and not assimilate with the oppressor. Kunta was fighting for his roots. Toby was the aftermath of a broken warrior. Ray Flows, TNT. Listen, have an excellent day, all right? Go out there and win today. Don't let these suckers on your job get you down. Don't let them get you down. And we'll catch up real soon. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to today's show or go on over to Cincinnati Digital Media on Facebook. You can find it at CIN Digital Media and subscribe to our content in that particular Facebook feed. If you're on Facebook a lot, you can find me inside the Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivey Show. It's a closed Facebook group, but you're more than welcome to join. And we chop it up. It's a great way to post potential topics for the show, among other things. Have an excellent day. Did I say that already? Yeah, have a great day. And we'll talk real soon. Viva La Chapas. And I'm out.